talking to Kirk Franklin this morning. He's in the Red Velvet Cake Studios. He's got new music. Yeah. Hey, Kirk. What do you see?
Can I say something real quick, though?
Yeah.
And I want people to know that when I said that I was not performing at the inauguration, that is not an attack on those that chose to. Yeah. Those that chose to, they follow their own conviction, and I love them for following their own conviction. I humbly had to follow my own.
Of course.
And so every
so
man
you
has
don't
to
you don't mind that they did. You wouldn't get on Twitter and talk about them, right?
No, not Kirk.
Well, I would never do that, and I don't think that we should do that to each other right now.
She don't go to church a lot.
Talk to Sherry.
She don't
talk
attend
to Sherry.
church.
The rest of them.
Kirk, what do you see? What do you see the church role, the church's role right now with all of this that's going on in our world?
One important word that I believe that the church needs to execute in: humility. Humility. To apologize in the areas where we failed, and to be honest about the areas that we don't know. Like, we know that the Bible speaks about certain things, and I trust God's word because I've seen God's word change my life. Right. But that doesn't mean that I understand everything, and that doesn't mean that I know everything. And sometimes I think that when the world hears Christians, we come across as the experts on every idea. Where we need to say, you know what? I don't really understand this issue. But what I don't know doesn't cancel out what I do know. But on this one, I don't know. I have to trust God's love and God's heart on this issue. So humility and transparency.
Transparency,
that when we mess up, we need to acknowledge that we messed up. And we cannot, we cannot support leaders that have not been transparent and honest with their people. That when a leader, morally or in any area of integrity, may not live a life that the people have trusted him to live, that we have the biblical freedom and right to say that we cannot support this. We cannot support this leader until this leader acknowledges or confesses that this was a mistake. But when you have leaders continue to fall and we not acknowledge it and we just
forgive them and we forgive them without them confessing?
Not forgive them, but because see, forgiveness is free, but trust is earned.
Preach.
Ooh, that's the word of the day right here.
Yeah. So when we fail people, we got to be sensitive to the fact that we got to rebuild their trust. If I cheat on Tammy, just because I come in the next day with flowers, that don't mean there's going to be some good loving at night. I've got to rebuild trust because I cheated on Tammy. I broke her trust.
I got my first husband on the phone. Hold on.
Wait, that's powerful. Forgiveness is free and trust is earned.
We have to rebuild trust when we fail our followers. The people that come and they give their tithes and they trust us to believe that God is going to change things around, and then they see us, whether we're not being faithful in our wives or we're not being faithful with the money or being faithful with integrity, then we got to rebuild that trust.
Is this discussion being had by members of the church, but by the leaders of our church? Because that's the key. We're talking about the leadership of the church, those that got.
I don't know, but Kirk is having it, and Kirk is a part of the body of the church. And I think that's the beautiful thing is that no one has a monopoly on the microphone. That the members need to realize that you have the power to say, you know what, I choose not to sit up under this leadership.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay just because your nana been there for 40 years.
Okay.
Your nana been
You don't have to stay.
Now,
But let me celebrate. There are some great churches.
Right.
And there are some great black spiritual leaders that are tired of the BS too, and they're doing great things, and much love to them. But just like I can get pulled over by a white policeman today, just because of my experience, that white policeman may have a black beautiful wife. You know what I mean? At home. He may have some beautiful mixed pretty kids at home, but because of what I've seen, I'm naturally going to be afraid when he pulls me over. So there are the bad ones that sometimes affect what we see, and so we never really get to see the good.
Right.
But the good ones, I celebrate you, I applaud you, and I pray for you. And as a community, let's build up our good leaders, but let's don't keep putting people in office just because they've been in office 70, 40, 50 years. If things are not happening and changing in your district, in your city, in your community, don't just keep reelecting somebody because of the shade of their color.
Or keep them in the pulpit.
Or keep them in the pulpit. Leadership across the board. We have the opportunity, and now is the time that we have the way to lovingly, with love, hold people accountable and choose what type of leadership we're going to sit up under.
But do we hold them accountable with Facebook Live and video? Is that the new thing? What do you think about that?
I personally don't agree with that.
But you can't preach freely. What you feel, Kirk?
You affect change by your actions. You affect change by your actions. It is your action. You're affected by your money. You're affected by your giving. You're affected by your moving around. You're affected by your voting. You're affected by your marching. You're affected by your protesting. You're affected by action. Because faith without works is dead. Yeah. It's your actions. I mean, because we could preach all day we want to. Kirk can do songs all day we want to. But if Kirk's songs are not empowering the people to believe in themselves, to believe in a God that loves them, and to believe that they deserve more, it's like a woman in an abusive relationship. You can keep telling all the time, but until she makes that mind, I'm going to get up and leave this Negro. I'm going to leave him no matter how many apologies, how many more black eyes, how many more times you got to throw your stuff on the yard, how many more times you got to cuss you out in front of your mama. And then when you see this system, this continuous system, this roller coaster of him doing the same thing, that you're going to realize I deserve more. As a community, we deserve more. As churches, we deserve more.
Your new song, "My World Needs You."
Oh my God.
That's what this song is talking about. What you just preached.
I hope so.
My World Needs You. The new one from Kirk Franklin. Coming up next on the TJMS.